Anyway, in the bottom right position, we have York player, Dreaming. He's the Zerg player. And at the top, we have Deja Vu. It's another Zerg player. God, why do they find all these Zerg players? And Urael is representing Staffordshire. And this is the first game of the set. It's best of 3. Interestingly enough, if you ever played with the UK scene and beta, this is pretty much going out to everyone out there, 90% of the players were Protoss. I played in tournaments where it was 5 rounds of Protoss and maybe a Terran in the finals, like someone like the Muslim, and then you just get absolutely stomped. But
yeah, I remember watching those games.
So it's pretty cool to see lots of Aspirin Zerg players. Keep fighting, guys. Hopefully we'll see some of you at the top. I say this, but the winner of the ESL Pro Series UK was the winner of the ladder of the ESL Pro Series UK was a Zerg, but the overall winner was not. He was a Terran / Protoss. He kind of race picked. But anyway, enough about that. Zergs are pretty rare, so it's always good to see more of them in the UK scene.
You see
in
Dreaming
Europe in general, but gas going up for Urael.
We just did see Dreaming do the extractor trick just to get an extra drone while his Overlord was in production. Gas is now going down for Dreaming, slightly behind Urael. Urael's drone is in the base, having a little slither around, saying hi to all his mates before he gets absolutely slaughtered and we'll never see them again. It's a sad life for a drone. Spawning pool going down for Urael ahead of Dreaming's. So both players pretty much the same opening, but Urael is slightly ahead on timings.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make too much of a difference though. We saw earlier that a 15 hatch was quite capable of fending off possession from a Speedling build, although the relative skill of the players obviously should come into question when you're saying statements like that. But I don't think it's too risky to go for a hatch press, but these guys are both going for a speed Zergling build, although blue speed is going to be quite a bit faster than red speed, as he just finished, or he just reached 100 gas, but he's actually continuing mining gas and starts his speed, so I think we're actually going to see Banelings from the blue Zerg player representing where's he representing?
Red is York, Staffs are in blue.
Staffs, right. I forgot the name of the uni, Whereabouts is Staffs?
Up north.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my geography's not good. I spent most of my life outside the UK. Anyway.
I spent most of my life in my room.
Okay.
We do see an expansion on 21st. Not 21st, 21. Oh, looks like he cancelled it because the Overlord is in possession and he would see him. Bit back and forth. Make your mind up, Dreaming. What is he, half-wake? Ho ho ho.
No, it's all good. Yeah, he just... I don't think he wanted to put it down until he was absolutely sure. These Zerglings do a little bit of damage. Gets them away. He needs to be careful not to pull them away too much. Anyway, yeah, Urael decides to defy me and go for a Roach instead of Banelings, making me look bad. So, thanks a lot, Staffordshire. But it's all good because, well, he's seen the expansion. He's obviously going to try and push this. He's going to be too late for this otherwise. There's going to be an Overlord pop soon. Oh, he's not actually started it. This is a pretty bad supply block for Urael, and it's actually going to really affect any early aggression he does, because I mean he's sitting with a lot of lava. He's sitting with 2 lava. He's floating a lot of money, and he is very, very much supply blocked. 2 Overlords about to come out for him though, and he should believe, he needs to start spending some of that minerals. He did reach nearly 500 just then, but here we go. It's all gone into roaches. 5 roaches.
Dreaming has gone down for his own roach warren, so it looks like we may see a repeat of Carib versus Vega.
Yeah, but I feel the difference here is going to be the spine crawlers, whether Red feels the need to put any down. He's putting one down in his main actually, rather than the natural line. Look how much damage this hatchery has.
It's taken half amount of damage.
Yeah. So
we do see a push is coming from Urael, in the form of roaches and Zergling.
Yeah, and he's actually going to lose an Overlord here to the Queen, and he isn't building another one. He's only 3 supply away from his cap. He hasn't started another one. This is going to be a pretty disastrous supply block.
He may get away with it. No, he doesn't.
4, and here we go. A nice
he may be able
push
to catch that spine crawl out of position, but the Zerglings are trying to swarm him around. Zerglings to pull off. They're facing him again. Spine crawler does manage to get in position though, only taking a handful of damage.
Time is quickly running out for the blue player to make his move. These spine crawlers, he was focusing one for a second, but it's finally finished, and these roaches are suddenly in a lot of trouble. He does kill some Zerglings, but he's losing so many roaches that this isn't really worth it. Second spine crawler finishes, and blue has to get out of there. Zerglings reinforcements come in, and blue is in a lot of trouble. He's 10 supply behind, and 10 supply is a lot when you're only at 22 versus 32.
And behind this, he has expanded, so he was hoping to apply a lot more pressure than he did. If Dreaming is just charging forward with these Zerglings, and he will be able to take out his hatchery. There are no units out on the field. Urail's suddenly going into panic mode, but he's just droning up. There are no units currently in production. Cancels the 2 extractors, and looks like he's just going to give up this hatchery. 2 spine crawlers have gone down. No units still in production for Urail, so these Zerglings are just going to charge in and utterly decimate this mineral line. There's only
this is game right here for blue. It's kind of interesting. This situation reminds me a lot of Broodor. Mass speedlings versus someone going for a spire, and someone tends to build lots more speedlings and just destroy the economy. And if you look, blue has a massive 2 drones, and he's about to lose the queen. And good game for blue. So York takes the first game in a very convincing fashion. Well, I wouldn't say convincing. I think blue kind of overcommitted with his roaches. I would have liked to see him go up the ramp, like reduce the surface area, but at least get away from those spine crawlers when they finished.
Bob in chat has just said, I think he's taking lessons from Hydra. Under pressure, drone up. God. Have you seen how much Hydra is charging for lessons these days?
Yeah, but he can, because he's not charging, like, he doesn't want the business, but he appreciates there are people out there that have that much that want to pay for it. So, I mean, he's perfectly within his rights to charge $300 now, $300. Some people just have that disposable income, you know. It's totally up to them how they spend it. I just wish I could charge $300 an hour.
I wish I had disposable income.
But yeah, good game. I can't put the university names in the overlay, I'm afraid, Azangi, because it's not showing up. I did it last time and it worked fine last time, but it doesn't want to show up this time, I'm afraid. But in the VODs, I'll definitely make sure it's all clearly labelled. And Joe Eagle in chat is going to hopefully answer, stay there and answer who's who. Which team?
Nerf Bat SC. You said you want coaching from Spanish. Well, he's actually been on a Day 9 daily where he talks about his build, so just go there, check it out, and you should be able to get some useful insight from it.
Yeah, he also coaches at hotkeyit.com.
Yeah.
But that's not who we should be plugging. We should be plugging Mr. Total Biscuit, who has very kindly put up the £500 for a for this University Team League, and you can see you should be able to see a little overlay in the bottom right hand corner where you can find more about him. Interestingly enough, this map is MLG Shattered Temple, so for whatever reason you can't spawn in close positions on Shattered Temple, but you can on Metalopolis. I'm not quite sure where that comes from, but whatever.
Anyway, I think that's because we had the ESL or GSL version of Metalopolis.
Yeah, but I assume that was what was picked by the MNs. Yeah. Anyway, we have Garash on the left-hand side. He's representing the University of Staffordshire. He is a Protoss player. And in cross positions, we have the Validator. Interesting name. He's representing the University of York, who are currently 1-0 up in this match in the UK University Team League. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the games.
This is the final set of today, just in case you missed that in chat. And again, as Vequeth said, shout out to...
Sorry.
Whatever, okay?
You're going to say it right.
But shout out to Total Biscuit and the Cynical, aka the Cynical Brett, for putting up the £500 prize money for this tournament.
It's also worth noting that he's not just putting the money up, he's generally being very supportive to the UK scene. If you've ever got like an event going on, which is UK only, if you you know, you tweet him and you say retweet this please, he'll be perfectly happy to. And he has many followers on Twitter. He has a very big following, so we're very lucky to have him in our corner with developing the UK scene. So big props.
He also has his YouTube channel where he does his own casting from time to time. He also does a daily ladder stream which you can watch. He does
a humour ladder stream. FYI, he's gold. It's not a Masters level stream, but
you can still learn a lot from it. So yeah, go check out his website and his YouTube. Just type in the YouTube Total Halibut or Total Biscuit, and his website is www.thecynicalbrick.com.
What league are you in, by the way?
Oh, I'm not publicly announcing that.
Oh, you can say it. We're all friends here.
I'm in silver.
Oh, it's okay. Anyway, the validator is going for speed first build. I'm curious to know if he would go it, considering it's an MLG Shattered Temple. People just need to bear that in mind, that if you're playing an MLG map, you can't spawn in close positions. But he did see, maybe he was watching the stream earlier and saw the Zerg play the Terran on close positions and just thought that's this, you know, the section of maps we have. But these are all things you generally get from tournament experience, so it's always good to see the inexperienced playing in tournaments, because you have to start somewhere. And I'll definitely never begrudge seeing a lower ranked player in the tournaments I place. I mean, obviously I'm quite happy when I get matched up against like a diamond player or a platinum player, but it's always promising to see them there.
Validator is now placing down his expansion after chasing away the probe, well, destroying the probe which was denying it.
Yeah, it's pretty standard for this build to generally put your hatchery down at about 21 supply after making 4 Zerglings and starting speed. It's
second gas.
And
sorry.
The pros do this a lot. I mean, especially people like Morrow, and you're really not that far behind the 15 hatch once you get like the faster queens out and all that. And it's generally a lot safer, especially if you're worried about, like in this case, it's a best of 1. You see it a lot, because if you 15 hatch and you make a slightly greedy decision, then something like a cheese like cannon rushes or proxy gates can ruin your day, even though we don't really see proxy gates anymore.
Well, we will when the patch comes out, probably.
No, they changed it.
Oh, did they? I need to go look at the patch notes.
Yeah, they while I previously made Walkgate 40 seconds later, it's now 20 seconds later, and they took the reduced build times off the Zealot and the Stalker. It's only on the Sentry now. They also slowed the Infestor slightly, but Zerg players are generally quite happy about that, because they were more worried about Infestors. Like when you one-click move your army, the Infestors go out in front and they all die.
Yeah. We see 2 more gateways going down, so we could see a 4-gate push coming from Garage, as there is no expansion going down, which you would expect with 3 gates and a core. So with these 4 gates, you should start applying pressure. But there is a bunch of Zerglings hanging around at the Zelnaga Tower, just chilling, admiring the view. So he will be able to be aware of when a push is coming.
Oh, slightly out of position here. He's going around the corner checking for the Overlords, but these Speedlings are right here, and they could do an absolute number on these sentries. I really wish he took that opportunity, and here we go. He's going for these sentries, and this is huge. Zerg has killed 1 sentry.
Force fields are far too late.
Well, he was in the wrong position. He was right in the middle of his ramp, and Zergling's coming in, going to get a great scout on. Well, he sees 4 things warping in, and he had an Overlord there, so he's going to go in the probe line. This doesn't have to do economic damage, but he's just buying time to set up.
Practically all the probes have been pulled off the line, so that is a significant amount of mining time which has been taken away. These Zerglings are still giving Garish's army the run around, taking more probes, but more crucially earlier having taken out those sentries. Oh, and he blocks off the remaining Zerglings, and they are just going to be absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, well, the whole idea with that was just to delay the push. Zerg has loads of time right now to set up to defend this 4-gate. He has a roach worn out. He's just going to spam roaches, maybe put down a spine crawler if he feels worried. But Zerg is in such a commanding position right here. And here comes the Protoss' push, but he only has enough for 1 force field, so he's going to have to put that on the ramp. And it's really not looking too good for the Protoss right now. Although I'm slightly concerned by the fact that Zerg is still slightly droning and finally got a spine crawler going down. I kind of feel like Protoss needs more urgency in this. needs more urgency in this push. Sorry about that.
Sure, good. We do see roaches are out on the field, so he will be able to counter these stalkers, and they aren't significant enough to drown these roaches either. We do see more queens are out on the field for Validator. He's pulled his queen from the main, which is interesting, so he is expecting a push significantly. We do see a pylon placed down for Garash, so he's going to try and continue out this pressure.
Oh, terrible
those
force fields
were
there. They
wasted.
don't actually counter anything, and he's only got one left. He's finally got a guard and shield out, which is pretty good, but Zerg is just spamming units right here. It's really not looking comfortable for the Protoss. You really want this kind of unit about 2 minutes to go, going into the Zerg's base, and he's in a lot of trouble right now. I'd be surprised if he commits to this, seeing how much army the Zerg has.
Taking a few pot shots off, trying to take some units for free, not really wanting to go in there too much for fear of damage. Another spine crawler done for Garash. Oh, and he manages to force field those roaches, but only traps one and takes it for free. Not a huge loss.
He needs to be a lot more careful with these force fields. I'd be concerned if he was actually playing with a fair amount of lag right now. This is the sort of force fields you see when you see like a Korean player playing a European or an American player. Anyway, here comes the push from the Protoss, snipes out 2 of the sentries at the foot. It does a nice amount of damage and pulls back. These roaches are going to do an absolute number on these units. Zerg is very confident about this push.
Spine crawlers have repositioned so they are in range of the front line. These roaches are just continually hammering on these stalkers. There are any stalkers left, no sentries, but the roach count has lowered. Transfusions are going down for the Validator, so his units are back up to full health.
Yeah, Garash is going to have such a bad time applying pressure. It's also worth noting that he has expanded behind this, but his worker count is still, it's nothing worth boasting about, and he's just on stalkers now, whereas the Validator is going very roach heavy, and he's reinforcing with zealots and sentries, which is kind of surprising. I mean, the times for sentries is over. I'd really like to have stalkers, and see them kiting rather than force fields, and Burrow is soon out for Zerg, and force fields are pretty useless then. Nice little run by the Zerglings here. They have the superior speed, but they took the long way around.
I mean, again, another advantage having Burrow is, aside from giving the roaches more regenerative capabilities, if Garash manages to get into the Validator's mineral lines, he can just, if Garash has no observer, he can just borrow his drones and take no economic loss aside from lost mining time.
Yeah, well, it's that, and we see a lot of pros recently. Pros, not probes. I do apologize. They send some roaches, and Idra's making great use of this. He'll send some, like 4 roaches in the back of your mineral line. You'll send your units over there, and he'll just burrow them, and then 4 more roaches will show up at your other mineral line, and it's incredibly difficult for Protoss to do. I mean, he does have a forge up, but he has no. If Zerg would be so inclined to do such a thing, then Protoss would have a hard time with that. I'm not saying that he will, though. It looks like he's going to be a lot more direct. And Infestation Pit is just finishing for the Zerg player. I think we're going to see a couple of Infestors pop out. When he has enough for a couple of Fungals, we're going to see a very Roachling push with Fungals on the Stalkers. Because when Protoss left, actually, he only had Stalkers. So Zerg is pretty much assuming that he'd stick with that. But we do have a Robotics Philly to see going up. Question is whether it's going to be Colossus or Immortal.
I would expect an Observer.
Well, after the Observer, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think because of the heavy presence of roaches on the field, I would expect Immortals. Oh, he's gone for Observer first. So he could be going into Colossus because the Robotics Bay has gone down. But at the minute, I don't think he will be able to support Colossi if the Validator decides to push, but the Validator is deciding just to pull back. But he has no idea about the robotics facility or the robotics bay.
I love this play though by the Zerg player. He's going for the Nidus network and Hydras. We're going to see a very harassment-based play into taking the third. He's got an Overlord flying to the bottom left-hand side of the base, but pylons are going to see what's going on there. And this great Overlord positioning at the top left is going to see these rocks going down, so he knows Protoss is aiming for a third right now.
An Overlord is moving into position rather rapidly, so the Nidus will be able to be deployed as soon as it's up.
Did you just say an Overlord was moving rapidly? Don't you know they're
Yeah.
snails?
Well, they have been upgraded, so...
Okay,
You see
here's the
Nidus
Nidus network
has
going
been
down. I'm going to go, for the stream's sake, I'm going to go onto Protoss's camera and see how he reacts to this.
All his army is at the front. He's just expecting a push from the front. He's still, even though the pylon's right there, he's going straight into his main mineral line. All these units are having to work around the funnel straight up to the ramp, but a huge amount of damage has been done. And again, he can just pull back and run straight into that Nidus network if he's faced with superior numbers. Extended Thermal Lance is being researched. First Class I is almost out, but the damage is done. Nexus in the main has gone down, and all of the Validator's forces retreat into the Nidus. And then some may be picked up. No, he just loses the Nidus. Excellent trade.
Well, he doesn't lose a unit, really.
And we see another Nidus worm going down for the expansion, and only 2 Stalkers on hand to deal with it. I'm not sure if that'll be enough.
Nidus is
just cancel as it finishes.
You can if you get like 6 probes, 7 probes, you can kill a Nidus. It's really that simple. But you have to see it first, obviously.
We do see a significant amount of roaches are on the field, but no immortals, strangely.
Yeah, no, I definitely like the Colossus pick instead of the Immortals. He doesn't have, he was behind economically at the start, and you have to be generally even if you want to go for the Immortal play. Otherwise, they're not as efficient as, say, a Colossus.
But Burrow has been researched, so if the Validator wanted, and if Goresh doesn't have an observer in the right position, he can just burrow his roaches under and go straight for that Colossus.
Yeah, but luckily he does have an observer right over the army. Anyway, here comes the little push in from the Protoss player. It's going to be interesting to see the force fields. He does have about 4 sentries with full energy, and force fields are going to go down, but they're not actually splitting the army up. There goes some sort of split. Hydra's out at the back, but there's still like 80% of the Zerg's army is doing damage, and they're just ripping through the Stalkers. He's going to go for the Colossus now. Colossus going down really, really quickly, and these Hydras are going to absolutely rip through these gateway units. Protoss has to run away, but he's going to lose so many sentries, so many units, so much tech. 20 roaches in production for the Zerg player, and this is a very commanding lead.
He should have pulled out of that way sooner than he did. He's lost a significant amount, and he has barely anything to fall back on aside from that Colossus, which is out. But these Hydras will prove the difference, especially since the Stalkers are primarily in the force. Validator isn't feeling it, he is pulling back. More roaches are streaming in across the map. That Observer is still viewing everything that is going on.
Yeah, so he's viewing everything, but there's not much you can do about it,
Yeah.
And Zerg's just playing it safe, as Artosis said, if you're ahead, get more ahead. He's putting the Spire down, he wants to go into his more corruptor base play, while double expanding,
he has double expanded.
And there is not much the Protoss can do about it. He lost so much in that fight that he can't push out for at least 60 supply. To be honest, I'd like to see the Protoss try and expand. If we look at the harvester count, it's 50 to 61, not so bad, but...
huge transfer is taking place between the natural
very
and
critical the spread of the probes here. He could really use another base right about now. Anyway, push through the middle.
Oh, these Colossi may be caught out of position. No, they are going to meet head-on with the Colossi at the back. Possibly not the greatest force field placement. First Colossi goes down, second Colossi has gone down. These Stalkers are just being ripped through by these Hydralisks, and these roaches are just decimating the Zealots. Garish gives it up. GG.
And York wins 2-0 against Staffordshire. Very good play by the Zerg player. Protoss, it's the small things, especially when you're doing a 4-gate. Those 3 sentries at the start really took away Protoss's ability to apply pressure. And that's everything for today, guys. So thanks a lot for listening. The stream will be back next week. It won't be me because I'll be I think it's right in between 2 exams. So why don't you tell the viewers where people can find more about you?
My name's Carnius, and I've only recently started getting into casting. So you can just go onto YouTube and type in Carnius casting, and you'll be able to find the videos I have put up there. Currently, there isn't a huge amount because I myself are in the middle of the exam period, but in a few weeks' time I will be casting a lot more, so more videos will be put up there. But since I've only just started, please give feedback and comments and criticism so I know how to improve.
Okay, and you can find me at the Twitter account in the top left hand of the screen. I'll be posting there any updates when I do casts or streaming. In the next couple of weeks I'll be starting streaming some Masters Protoss ladder, so be sure to follow me if you want to hear about that. And yeah, all the videos from today will go up on both the Justin TV account and the YouTube account. YouTube account is youtube.com/the same name. It will be labelled on everything. I apologise again for not having the overlay up. It did work last week and then it just suddenly decided not to work. Thanks again to Cynical Brit for sponsoring the £500 for the prize pool, really legitimising this tournament and helping us promote it. Thanks for Joe Eagle and Bakewell for organising. And if you want to read about the tournament, you can find it at utl.ukstarcraft.net in the bottom left hand corner. And thanks for tuning in, guys.